Welcome everybody to the green room.
Heard you guys say
We were just talking about it.
You think you're some kind of rock star or something? We're gonna go to jail.
We had the fire alarm go off one show already.
We have to deal with this right now. How do you like that segue?
Really I'm gonna try not to ruin the gig.
Oh my God!
You might as well get in on this too.
I'm not
We are silly, stupid people.
Welcome to Strays Off Stage. I'm Zach. This is my first one doing this new podcast. You may have seen me behind the paywall.
The Green Room podcast.
The Green Room podcast on the old Elle King tour, which was a blast, and you guys should definitely go back and check that out if you haven't before.
Cody and I were just talking about whether or not we should release those to like the YouTube or whatever.
I think you should.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it would be a lot of content for people to see.
It would be
cool behind the scenes stuff.
It'd be kind of daunting to catch up on. You know?
Yeah.
Like
But, you know,
22 episodes.
But might as well make it available, you know, if somebody, the super fans do want to go back and check it out.
Yeah, I like having the name of the episode be the city because like people can, you know, go and see which city they're at or which show they were at. You know what I mean?
Go back and
you know, see
it.
where you guys were at before.
See us on the day that they saw us.
Yeah, yeah. So this is a pretty cool stage we're at. This is one of the first stadium shows y'all ever played. We were talking about this earlier. Y'all have done one other stadium show in Mobile at the Hank Aaron Stadium.
Yep.
Yeah, but this is, I think this one will be a more full audience.
I think so, yeah. We've been doing a few of these bigger shows, opening up for Eric Church and Dierks Bentley, and they've been super cool. I mean, definitely don't want to sound ungrateful or anything, but sometimes, you know, we're the first of three. We're the first band, and then there's another opening band, and then the headliner. Sometimes, you know, we get pushed back to where we're sound checking, and, you know, it's like right, or our set ends up being like right as doors are opening. So people are still, you know, getting drinks trickling in and everything. But today it looks like they open doors like an hour and a half or so before we play. So I'm hoping that has a good positive impact on the turnout, or at least the people who are here in time to see us. Yeah,
for sure. We were talking about that last episode, just kind of the downside of being the first of three opening act. But then again, me and John were talking about this earlier. Like, I don't see you guys staying in this position for very long. And it's not a bad position to be in. You're talking about first of three at a stadium show with Eric Church. That's not a bad spot.
I mean, to me, and look at the other two groups that we're with. I mean, it's crazy how big they are, and we just I don't know, I just really feel like a small fish up here with these guys. And then their crews are so impressive, and just the whole production's impressive, man. It's really neat to see how professional and how large, like the scale that everything can grow to. Yeah. It really gives me some serious aspirations for where I want us to be in, 10, 15 years.
You said earlier, small fish in a pond. You guys are small fish right now, but, you release some new music, play a few more of these shows, make one or two more cross-country tours. Those numbers are just going to keep jumping.
I mean, it grew exponentially just during the Elle King run, man. We would watch our Spotify numbers just about every day, and it was just constant, just more and more people trickling in. Like I think it was from like early January to the end of the Elle King tour, we gained like 100,000 listeners on Spotify or something like that. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, the growth and support's been really cool.
Yeah, it's really neat to see, man.
Yeah. What's your favorite part of all of it? Of playing on stage and growth?
I mean, I love touring and I love playing live shows. Those are my favorites.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to not really like recording as much just because it was so stressful, and it seemed like we were putting a lot of effort in and it wasn't coming out on the end product. Like that first album, really, me personally anyways, not very happy with how it turned out. I think they're great songs and they're good performances, but the mixing and the way the presentation of the album did a disservice to those songs.
Yeah.
But I say all that to say who we're recording with now, it's very exciting, and I cannot wait to go back and do some more work.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited with what we've already done with how that's turning out. I've never really been happy or like proud or really wanted to listen to on repeat stuff that we've recorded before. Just because, I think of all the things we could have done different and better and whatnot, but this stuff is it's turning out great. I think we really are, in a way working on, capturing lightning in a bottle.
Yeah. I know in the previous episodes we kind of mentioned playfully whether or not you guys were in the studio working on the next album.
Yeah.
And I don't see any harm in go ahead and confirming that now that, it's in the works.
I mean, we're not just sitting here doing nothing.
Yeah.
I think our fans are smart enough to realize that.
Yeah. You guys are not just sitting on your butts. Taking in the glory here. capitalizing on the next step.
Yeah, we sure are touring a lot, but we're definitely making time for our art, man.
I feel like this year and next year would be the peak of that era. You know what I mean?
How do you mean?
Like of the grind, of the playing 150 shows a
I don't
year.
know. The grind's never over, man. It just changes. It's just a different grind. You know, we're always going to be working hard. We're not going to sit here idle and doing nothing, no matter how big we get.
No, and the goal though would be to get to a place where you're not touring all the time.
Yeah.
You're not doing 100 shows. You're doing
because that stuff takes a strain on us personally and on our families and all the people around us. Because we are just regular people too, with families and love lives and everything that comes with that.
We're just humans. We're just regular people.
That and we're all mid to late 20s, and it's getting to the point where we're starting to want to settle down and have time for kids and everything.
Well, I saw a post earlier by he got a few thousand likes. I guess he's an up and coming musician, but it was of him standing in the parking lot after a show. He didn't look that bad. He was a little sweaty,
Yeah.
But he's like this is the side that you don't see. This is the the after effect or the after the show where everyone's tired and this and that. And he's like, just in case you didn't think it was hard work, this is exhausting. And that he was getting trashed in the comments. People were like, yeah, you should try working a 9 to 5. You should try this and that.
I think that's a really common misconception, man.
I think that the audience is not wrong for getting a little bitter at that post.
I understand that. I totally understand that perspective, and I had that for the longest time until I did this. Like, how many people get to actually go behind the scenes and do this stuff? But it's not. We're not out here partying every night. Sure, we get to drink a little bit as part of our job, and sure, we have fun and it's a blast. And I definitely wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. But at the same time, we really did work our asses off to get here, and we still are continuing to work our asses off to get to where we want to be. And it's weeks and months at a time without seeing your girlfriend or your mom or your brothers and sisters, and not feeling at home for a long time definitely starts to take its toll on you, man.
Yeah.
Like my dad's a towboat captain, and so sure, our jobs themselves are completely different, but we can really relate on a lot of stuff when it comes to being gone for huge chunks of time, at a time, and then coming home and trying to catch up on everything, all the the stuff you missed, the cool stuff that your brothers did while you were gone, or what's new in your mom's life and all that stuff. It sucks, man. It's not. I mean, you're just trading one set of issues that you'd have with a normal job for a completely different set of issues. Yeah. But I do understand that sentiment and how it can be hard for people to relate, because you really, just like with anything, you can't know, what it feels like to be in somebody's shoes until you're actually there doing it.
Yeah.
And nothing's easy, and nothing worth doing is easy, that's for sure.
The thought that I had was, and all that's totally true. I was telling my little brother, I've questioned whether or not I want to do this,
Yeah.
Obviously, it's a very, it's an incredibly lucky position to be in, to get to travel around and video for a living. I'm blessed beyond belief.
Oh man, it's an incredibly lucky position to be able to travel around and play guitar in front of all these people every night, man.
I still have those moments of dissatisfaction where I'm like, gosh, should I be doing something else? Or I'm kind of tired of doing this.
I think another point to make is, traveling around and doing the thing that we're actually out here to do is such a small part of our day to day.
Yeah.
It's sitting on a bus, driving the bus, taking truck stop showers, having to, eat when you can, not sleep when you can. You're never really truly comfortable. You're never really truly relaxed until you get home, and that is starting to become less and less often now.
I will say this for sure, because this was the thought I had reading those comments and deciding that the people commenting, the people that were upset about the post, they're not wrong, and this is why I thought that. I don't think it is very hard. It's a lot of hard work. That's the point we're making, but at the end of the day, you guys are entertainers, and I work in entertainment. And I don't think it's the entertainer's job to complain about entertaining. It's like you're the court jesters. You're meant to distract. You're meant to entertain.
Yeah, our whole thing is to give people an escape from all that stuff that they're complaining about there. It's like,
well, it's the people that are consuming your music are the people that are working those 12-hour days and living a grind and wishing that they didn't have to be in this grueling job. Yeah. So imagine how bad it would make you feel if that's your fantasy and your heroes are up there, but your heroes are like, oh man, this is hard work. You know what I mean?
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree with that, but
I think it's definitely hard work, but I do understand if someone would be upset at that statement,
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just not always the entertainer's job to to complain to his audience, you know?
Yeah. And I mean, I could see somebody, somebody way bigger than us, that would kind of rub me the wrong way. But
Yes.
at the stage we're at and what we've eaten a lot of shit over the last, as long as it's been 7 years, man.
Yeah.
We've been through a lot, and I think we've definitely, earned every bit of success that we had the hard way.
Oh, yeah.
Because we've done this all completely independently. We didn't have some record label, come down from the heavens and, give us a bunch of money and blow us up or whatever. We've done all this the hard way so that we could do it our way, That's kind of been our whole work ethic this whole time, man. We want to do it the way we want to do it, and if you do it the traditional like record label route, you don't really get to do that because a lot of the important decisions, change from your decisions to make to the people who are supplying the money and all the backing and everything.
Yeah. I forget sometimes how hard y'all fought to be at some of these gigs you did early on, or how hard you fought to be at many of them, how hard you fought just to put gigs on the table,
Yeah, I mean, there was a time where we took any and every gig, no matter how far away it was, no matter how bad the pay was, no matter anything, nothing mattered. We just wanted to play music to as many people as we could, and it got to the point where, like, we love playing in Mobile, and we never forget our Mobile family. We love that, and we tried to as much as we can, but it got to the point where, we were kind of spinning our tires, down there in the Mobile, Florida, Mississippi area, and eventually you have to get out. But to do that, we had to, take a pay cut. That's the bottom thing, but it's driving far and vehicles that are unreliable, uncomfortable. Playing shows to nobody. We played so many shows to nobody, man.
Yeah.
That's happened hundreds of times. But each time you do it, maybe there's 1 or 2 people there, and then they bring 2 and 4 people each next time, and then it just keeps snowballing from there. And we were really lucky that people. That, like, the word of mouth thing was really important with us when we were starting because we didn't have any music out for the first 2 years we were touring.
Yeah.
Because of the whole record label debacle that we were stuck in. Yeah, it's rolling. Is that what you're checking?
Yeah.
I think our live show sold a lot of people on us, and it made them want to bring more people to see us, and we kind of had this underground following, like this roots kind of thing that. When we did finally put a record out, it did really well because all these people were starving for it, and I thought that was really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, the work that y'all did in the local scene is, I think it's unparalleled to a lot of other bands I've seen. I mean, you just didn't take no for an answer. You know, couldn't get booked. I'm not taking that as an answer. I'm going to keep asking. I'm going to keep grinding. Don't have a way to get there. Well, we're going to borrow a vehicle. We're going to borrow somebody's car to get to a show. Our bus broke down. We're going to sit in the parking lot in this storm and fix it. Literally in a storm.
Oh yeah, there was that time we were driving up. Andrew, what gig was that? When we got stuck getting chased by that hurricane? Was it somewhere in Tennessee? We were heading north on 65. Yeah, it was. Yeah, we were headed to Omaha. Yeah, Omaha, Nebraska for a gig, and then we left right as Hurricane Zeta was coming north, and we thought we were doing good. We were doing it on time, and then what was it? The AC compressed. The water pump went out.
Yeah.
And we had to stop on the side of the road. It was near Clanton on 65 and, change a water pump right there. And the whole time this hurricane's creeping up on our ass. And we ended up just getting caught right in it, we had John's drum stands all standing up with the tarp
making
over
like
it.
A tent. I think I've still got that video.
Oh yeah, I've got a bunch of video of it on my phone. And we were all just laying in the mud, wallering in it. Like there was probably a foot of water and mud underneath us just sloshing around. At a certain point we just had to accept it and get the job done.
But that's the type of no quit attitude I'm talking about. Like,
and that's the work that I'm talking about.
Yeah,
it's like sure, going up on stage playing guitar is real cool. It's not like a hard job, but that's such a small part of everything we've had to do to be successful.
Even on the Elle King tour, when one of the roads was shut down due to ice.
Yep.
You guys drove around the blockade.
Yeah, drove around a barricade. And drove as far as we could.
Yeah. And I know that definitely impressed Elle and her team. It's like she said it on stage at one of those shows. Like these guys, if they want to get to a show, they're going to get to that show.
Yeah, it's going to take a serious act of God to get us to not do something, man.
Yeah,
because we're very hard headed, sometimes to a fault.
Yeah,
but we're also with that we're all very loyal people and we're very true to our word. And if we say we're going to be somewhere, we're going to be there.
I saw a post on a like a Nashville musicians page, and it was somebody asking, how long should you be in the game before you get signed to an agency? Like, I want an agent. Who can I start to look after to start getting an agent? And a lot of people in the comments had it kind of spot on. It's like, first of all, you don't really shop for agencies. An agency will come after you once you got big enough.
Find you. At least that's what happened with us, man.
I think I'm sure there are cases where somebody sent an application or whatever and got signed to an agency.
You can always ask for meetings, but
right.
I think for the most part, if you're making waves and you're doing work and they're showing that you're willing to go out and play all these shows that they could potentially book for you, I think an agent will come out and they'll reach out to you.
I think you said the perfect line, making waves. It's how big of a noise can you make, with your audience.
It's important, man.
It goes down to grinding, just getting on that grind.
Yeah.
But yeah, you guys have kind of been at this for a while, man. You've been playing guitar for a very long time. How long have you been doing music?
I got my first guitar when I was 14, and just kind of I was playing Guitar Hero and stuff at the time, and like was really into that. And I was like, this isn't that hard. I could probably play a real guitar. And I had nothing but time. I was just some bored high school kid, didn't really give a shit about high school. And just out of a whim one summer, I asked my dad to buy me a guitar, and we went down to Guitar Center and bought one of those. It was like the Squier, it's a guitar that comes with a little crappy amp and all that. And then I got that, and just, man, that's all that I did. Just all day, every day. I'd wake up early before I had to wake up to go to school, so I could play guitar in the morning before I had to catch the bus and stuff. And I just learning songs. I didn't really learn much theory, and I don't know how to read music, but I wanted to learn how all my heroes played guitar, and I spent a lot of time like woodshedding that, and learning techniques and learning about the gear and the equipment and all that stuff too. And I just really nerded out on it and spent my whole sophomore to senior year in high school, just everything was guitar. That's all I cared about. And it still is, 90% of my life. It's all I care about is guitar stuff, man. And then once I got out of high school, I was a pizza guy for a while, and I was I tried to start a few bands locally, but I had a real hard time finding people that had the same work ethic and drive that I did. And it just seemed like I was the only person in all those bands that really wanted to do it and was trying to make things happen and whatnot. But they all just fell to shit. And then I knew John through his brother Jacob, who's sadly no longer with us. And they had just been fired from a band, and John was playing drums with what was the Coleman Mason band before we all joined and formed as the Strays. And John sent me a message on Facebook. It's like, hey man, I'm in this new band. We need a guitar player. And I was like, oh heck yeah. I didn't know John very well. I mainly knew John as as Jacob's pissed off older brother that we would always make mad, and we'd be playing guitar, and he'd be, because in their old house where they used to live, there was the music room that was directly attached to John's room. His bed just opened up straight into it, and we'd be playing guitar at 12, 1 in the afternoon, and we'd be playing, and John would be like, hey, y'all cut that shit out, y'all stop. And but I had seen him play drums a few times, and he was always just on it, amazing, badass drummer. And I knew if John Hall was doing something, I knew that it was worth checking out and probably really cool. And so he sent me a message on Facebook. It was like, hey, man, we're auditioning guitar players in this new band that I'm in. And I didn't know anything about it. And then I didn't hear anything from him for 3 weeks. And I'm like, oh, shit, what the heck, man? This is really exciting. What's going on? So I messaged him again. He's like, yeah, we're, come on over here to this place. I ended up being Andrew's parents' house. And
this was before you lived in the crib, wasn't it? Was this before the crib? No. Yeah.
No, Andrew's brother owned the crib at the time, or was renting the crib. Yeah, his brother Alex.
Lived
at the crib.
The Strays have a band house in Mobile called the Crib that everyone in the band has lived in at one point or another. It's pretty integral to their history.
That's our home base, man.
Yeah. But go on.
Yeah. So I go over there, and I get there, and I didn't really know what to expect. So I brought my Eddie Van Halen guitar and my Marshall amp and everything. And I get there, and we are all just playing songs together, and they had sent me a list of songs, and it's a bunch of stuff that I'd only heard like on the radio growing up, stuff that I never really. I don't want to say I didn't like it, but like it didn't excite me as like a young teenage guitar player.
What kind of stuff?
The set list they sent me. I mean, it was a bunch of old classic country and outlaw stuff, and some classic rock stuff here and there, but. I really didn't have any idea how to play guitar like that at the time, but I was like, fuck it. If this is the band I end up in, it's the band I end up in. I took every opportunity. Like before this, I was on like the Mobile Musicians Facebook page, trying out with every band I could.
Yeah.
And, none of that was working out. All that sucked.
Yeah.
But, I get there and there's this bass player, Andrew, there, He was kind of dopey at the time, seemed like. Then there was John. I knowed him. And then there was Brandon. And the first song we played with him, man, I just knew like instantly like that was an incredible voice, incredible performer. Like it blew my mind. I could not believe that I was auditioning to be in a band with this dude.
Yeah.
And we just kind of played stuff, and I think we hit it off pretty good. I think I got the job. I'm pretty sure they never really told me. I just kept showing up.
They're still on the fence.
They never told me not to come back.
It's the first 10 years is the trial run.
Yeah, so I joined them, and then all of a sudden, I think it was like the next weekend, we had like they already had 2 or 3 gigs booked that were 4 hours of music that I'd never learned before, never knew that kind of guitar playing before.
Yeah.
So it was just like a real quick like sink or swim crash course in playing Southern guitar.
Yeah.
Which was really scary but cool at the same time.
Yeah, you picked it up pretty quick.
I had to, man. There was no choice. There was no choice there. Because, people are like, oh, do you like country music? And then you turn on country radio, and it's like, no, this is terrible.
Yeah, it's not
country music. I can't stand this stuff, man. It's so bad. Well, that's all I knew of it. Like, sure, I'd heard the odd, like, Waylon Jennings songs, and everybody loves Johnny Cash.
Yeah.
Everybody loves Elvis. But, some of the deeper stuff, like, I was like, nah, man, country's not my thing. But I really came around on it, and I really understand it now. And I have a serious appreciation learning about it from the inside out, like learning how to play the songs and how to really play them right, because it's not about like technical ability. It has a lot to do with feel and timing and like that intangible thing that and stuff like that.
I think that adds a lot to the unique sound everyone talks about when they talk about y'all's music. It's the blend of different genres. It's the fact that just about every one of y'all had different tastes and different musical passions. You know what I mean? Different ways of playing, different genres, and all that kind of blended together as you guys kind of blended together.
Yeah, I grew up, on like Van Halen, Black Sabbath, Jimi Hendrix, Rush. I mean, all those awesome classic rock bands.
Yeah.
And that's what, when I was learning to play guitar, that's all the stuff I was learning. So I learned a lot of like, technical, like flashy kind of things, whatever you want to call it. But that set the framework for, like there wasn't much that I couldn't learn after, going through that kind of gauntlet of figuring out guitar,
Yeah. Yeah. Each of you had your own genre, didn't you? You were more of a rock. Andrew was more of a funk. Yeah. Drew was hardcore country. Brandon's was 50s rock and roll.
Yeah. I'd call Andrew like bluesy.
Yeah, bluesy.
Especially knowing his dad.
He's bass. It's either blues or funk. That's one of the two. Yeah. Do you think? So I've got a bunch of bands that I like, and it's really cool to listen to them change over time. You know what I mean? Like, of course, like there are certain bands like I don't want to give a bad example here. Aerosmith or something that's basically trying to maintain a brand, or something like Aerosmith's not a good example. Help me out here.
How do you mean?
A band that sounded the same now that they did back in the 80s or 90s.
I don't know. That's
or an
hard.
artist. Yeah.
That's tough, man.
Maybe it's most of them. Maybe.
Well, I mean, people change so much over time, and I think their art and their music changes with them. And is a reflection of that.
I'm kind of thinking specifically of Need to Breathe. Like their first album is absolutely nothing like the music that they play now. And then they broke into Wilder Woods, and Wilder Woods is like back to the roots, back to the folky acoustic stuff.
I think Wilder Woods is mainly Bear, isn't it?
Yeah. That's all they created Wilder Woods.
Yeah.
Um,
I think Brent Cobb's a good example because he's changed a lot. Like if you listen to the first couple Brent records, it's like acoustic kind of folky stuff.
yeah,
And then he did Shine on a Rainy Day and and Providence Canyon, and those were like, a few songs on Shine on a Rainy Day, but mainly Providence Canyon was like a straight Southern rock record, man, and it was killer stuff. Like, I mean, in my opinion, I think a lot of the bands too, that's some of the best Southern rock music since Leonard Skinner, man.
Yeah.
And a lot of that's, Dave, which he rocks. Dave's awesome.
Dave Cobb's a great producer, and
Yeah,
Providence Canyon is my favorite Brent Cobb record.
Yeah,
I love Providence.
it's one of my favorite records, period, man.
Yeah.
It's one of those, it's like an old Skinner record that doesn't get old,
Yeah,
and you can listen to it 100 times, and you always find a new cool little thing that they did, either in production or in music.
yeah. But I see you guys. I see you guys being a lot like that, like changing from album to album. I don't.
We change from song to song.
Yeah.
Like,
There's no way you guys are gonna do 2 albums in a row that sound the same.
it's hard for us to do 2 songs in a row that sound the same, man.
Yeah. This next one though, I'm pretty excited for it. I know y'all been playing. Y'all started playing a lot of. Brandon still announces them as new songs.
He's announced those songs as new songs for like almost a year now.
Yeah, that's just because those are the new songs.
Well, they're new to everybody
Yeah.
else because and we've heard them and played them a bunch. But
yeah, Wasting Time is probably the least of the new ones because like we just we released the video on YouTube and I think people are would be more familiar with that one.
yeah,
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Then you got I'm Still Fine. That's the one that y'all do on stage a lot.
Yep, and what's it called? Wanna Be Loved. No, we haven't.
What were you saying?
Wanna Be Loved is the other newish one that we've been playing live.
Yeah. Want to Be Loved is great.
I like it.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear that one worked up. You guys, what are some of the big shows you've got lined up?
That's a bad question for me.
We just talked about them.
Yeah,
Red Rocks.
Red Rocks is going to be very cool.
Yeah.
With Dirks, and same with Lake Tahoe with Dirks. Those are always awesome, man.
Yeah.
The big production shows are always super exciting to do.
Yeah. They always have such a huge audience, and you can always see the spike in your socials and your Spotify whenever y'all play those big shows.
Yeah, it's really cool to see. It's cool to play them, but I think it's even cooler to see how well we're received and how excited people get about it.
Yeah. 100%. Well, I think this crowd's going to receive you guys pretty good too.
I think so.
You had a little audience while you were sound checking, and that's never fun. Nobody likes sound checking in front of a crowd, but they seemed into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I see the stadium right now filling up, so it should be a pretty good show.
Yeah, I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
Man.
I think we just got the text message from the set list.
Let me see. Oh, yeah, we did. Ooh, it's going to be a banger of a set list tonight, man.
What do we got?
I'm excited. We got Wasting Time, Moment of Truth, Stone's Throw, Wondering Why, Devil in My Ear, Ghosts, and Don't Care. That's
Hell
gonna
yeah.
be a good one, man.
That's going to be a really good
high
one.
energy, exciting rock and roll,
Straight
man.
banger, dude.
Straight bangers, man.
Just straight bussing.
Gosh, cut that out, dude.
Yeah, man. It's going to be a good show, though. Well, man, I think that's all the time we've got.
Yeah, Drew just came in here looking at me weird, so I don't want to talk on
Yeah,
camera
this has been a
anymore.
distracting one. You guys can't see the people
Yeah,
over
you
here
can't see
that are the distractions.
The circus that we're dealing with behind the camera.
I'm sure that the camera's gotten bumped a few times.
Yeah, I probably saw a few beers fly by.
Yeah.
Some people crawl around.
We made it to the end, though.
Yeah, we did.
Good job. This has been a good one.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for watching, and tune in whenever the next episode is. I don't know when that's going to be.
We're
Well,
very unorganized and
this is going to be
chaotic.
dude. This is going to be such an underground thing while it's starting off too.
Yeah.
I'm can't wait to see how it goes.
I don't know why anybody would want to watch this.
Dude.
Thank you for
I'm
tuning
thinking
in.
the same thing.
Yeah, it's just two idiots at a time sitting on a couch talking about whatever the hell it is we're doing that day.
Yep.
So
Some people have asked for it though. Thanks.
SOS, please save us from ourselves. that's actually the real meaning of it. But thank you everybody. Please help. Good night.